Good morning, everyone. Just waiting a few more minutes to see who else will be joining us this morning. Let me just go ahead and pray before we start. So bow your heads. Father, we give you thanks for your mercies. We thank you for your many blessings towards us. We pray, God, that as we go into this course of study, that we will add value to our lives and for the development of ourselves and our country. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right. So while we're waiting on the others to come in, I'm going to give you the opportunity. So the first person to share their screen with their SBA, I'll go through it with them. So anybody who wants to get some review going, you can do that now. So the option is there for you to share your screen. So am I to take it that nobody wants any SBA feedback? Or is that you don't want everybody to see your business?
Sir, I'm using a different device.
Oh, but you can always bring your SBA to that device and share your screen, don't? You should share your screen so that we can see, so that I can see what's happening and I can give you feedback for your SBA. Everybody can learn from your mistakes and you will learn from yours. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
So remember, even though everybody is doing the same SBA, everybody has different sources that they get their information from. So don't be shy. Best to get feedback than not to get any.
So, sir,
Yeah.
should I explain what I have typed, or are you going to like read it as I scroll down?
No, I will do it. Just share your screen. That's
Okay.
all you have to do.
Okay.
And I'll tell you when to move. All right. Bring me to Caribbean school-based assessment. All right, move to the next part of it. No, you go too fast, son. All right, so all right. Come to the center number. Center number is 100067. All right. Next page. Bring me back to the acknowledgement.
The acknowledgement.
Yeah, bring me to the acknowledgement. Make the screen a bit bigger. So give us some zoom. Lower right hand corner. Yeah, that should be fine. All right. All right, bring me to the next page. Acknowledgement is fine. All right, hold up. The first sentence missing something. So you're saying that the researcher analysis between the relation between the two groups for the answers. Which two groups you're talking about? Nobody knows that. You remember, it's the first time you're mentioning anything relating to the SBA, so you have to tell us who the groups are. All right, so make that adjustment sometime later on. Move to the next page. Bring it down some more, man. Not so far. I want to see the first paragraph. All right, yeah, that's all. All right, next paragraph. Stop. So these two groups of people came from the indigenous, from something wrong there. So the line there, highlight it and change the color, so you know that you must come back to it, or however you want to do it. Something very wrong with that statement there. All right, so where you get this information from? I don't see any sources that speak to your introduction. Go to the second to third to last sentence, which say over centuries, historians, and what a word there? The word with the A. Or what's that word? Talk to me, no man. What a word there be?
Archaeologist.
It's supposed to be archaeologist.
Yes, sir.
Oh. And then at the end of the sentence here, I see igneous people. What's that? Isn't it supposed to be indigenous people?
Yes, sir.
So highlight and move on. Next section. Remember, you know, the archaeologist, brother. Do the archaeologist, because if me see it again, you'll get too slap. Yeah. All right, move to the next. All right. They were known as agriculturalists. Who know them, so? You? Come now talk to me, no man. Hello? You
Sir?
said the Taínos were known as agriculturalists and experts at fishing and hunting of
Yes, sir.
those spears and stones. Who said that? You?
No, sir.
So who said it?
Um, it was this researcher. I read his paper. I
Who
should have.
that was you? So how you teach the people them information and I write it like a yours? I didn't know that was allowed. That is definitely not allowed, sir. Already I see two sentences about each of the groups, and that doesn't tell me any difference that existed between the two groups. So the first paragraph I'm noticing, so two sentences on the Tanos, one on the Maya, and I don't see anything that points to the groups being different. Nothing of the sort is mentioned. So it's like I would say that um, Kavar is a student, Mr. Thompson is a teacher. That's two different sentences, just stating what we do. But that doesn't tell me the difference. Yeah? There should be no room for me to interpret anything. You are the researcher, so you should bring your research to bear so that whenever I read a statement that you make, it is clear and it points towards what your research is about. So your first objective asks for a specific thing for you to establish the differences between the Taino and the Mayan technology. I have read the first sentence, the first paragraph rather, and I have not noticed any differences. Bring me to the next paragraph. So farming, yeah. All right, stop. Yeah, move to the next one. All right, stop. Next paragraph. That's it for the objective one. No. All right. All right, stop. All right, so bring me to the next paragraph. All right. All right, bring me to the next paragraph. All right, so finally they use the shields. That in conclusion. Mm, all right, so read the last paragraph and tell me if you can identify the difference that you see between the two groups. As in, read it out loud. I guess you're not
Yes,
hearing me.
sir. So let's read my last paragraph, right?
Yeah, that's what I said, bro.
Okay. In conclusion, the technical achievements of both groups compared to each other are heavily varied. The Mayans in every aspects of technology have surpassed the Taínos with creating houses, roads, mathematics, and even their own writing system. However, the Taínos outshine the Mayans in fishing, since there's no mention of fishing from the Mayans' history that I, that I have read.
All right, so what is the difference that you see?
Well, sir, I think, or I should say that from what I've read, the Mayans have a more better technical aspect than.
Me not ask you to interpret anything, and I ask you to tell me the difference that you see based on what you read. I'm not asking you to infer anything. Just what is the difference that is there? Anybody else can help, please? So based on what is written, what is the difference that is there? Nobody else not here?
What are the difference between the two groups?
Yes. That he has mentioned in the last paragraph. So you have to tell me what based
Sir,
on
me
what.
only say about fishing.
All right. So there's something about fishing. All right. Let me make
That's a message so far.
all right. Come now talk to me now, somebody else. All right. Now, um, uh, now, very important, and I want everybody to get this. What are the words or the terms that you can use? Take down your SBA now. I don't want to go into the next part of it. I think um I think that we would have covered that based on what we're seeing. All right. So let me see now if I all right, whiteboard. All right. Just give me a second. All right. So everybody should be able to see my screen now, right? Are you seeing my screen? Talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Tell me some words that indicate that you're identifying the differences.
However,
In comparison to.
Sir, I'm not seeing the
Sir,
screen, sir.
compare.
All right. So some people not seeing the screen.
Yeah, I'm just seeing a blank page.
Yeah, man, that's what you should be
Yes,
seeing.
sir.
Yeah, man, that's what you should be seeing. Yeah, you should be seeing a blank. Um, all right. So, what are the words? Give me the words again.
You have compare.
So difference, compare, um, what are the other words? However,
whereas,
whereas, yeah. So tell me now, how I am not seeing these words in your SBA people. Huh? And you know the terms that I'm looking for. So I'm looking for contrast. I'm looking for however. I'm looking for on the other hand. How come I am not seeing these words in the SBAs? I have to be struggling to find out what you are saying. So you write one sentence about the Teno, or some people writing one whole long paragraph about the Thanos, and then one whole long paragraph about the Mayans. And then at the end of that now, I am seeing that you're saying, based on the information presented above, it is clear that the difference that existed between the Mayans and the Thanos was that this one do that, this one do that. That is that is not how it's supposed to be done. Not at all. So remember now, based on what is in the syllabus, right? You would have studied the Thanos and you would have studied the Mayans. Everybody already know that. We already know that information. Everybody who is going to be marking your research already knows the information because we are history teachers. What we may not be so cognizant of now would be the differences that existed between the two groups because there is no book or any research that has been done which points towards the differences which existed between the two groups. That is what we want you to do. We want you to establish the differences that existed between the two groups. Yeah? So when you are going to write one paragraph and tell me what I already know, and then you're going to tell me you're going to write one sentence in your first objective to identify a difference. That no make no sense at all. It would be best I just say, all right, here what you do. Write down 3 differences that existed between these two groups in a like as 3 points. So point one, point two, point three in a like one sentence. Better I did ask you to do that. Yeah, because that is what I'm seeing. That is what I am looking for. That is what I'll be marking for. If you are not establishing the differences that existed, then you're not gonna get no marks. There's no way that you can write one difference in each objective and expect to get 35 out of 35. It will not happen. Yeah. So when I take up your book, when I take up your, well, I won't be taking it up, but when I'm reading your work, as I said before, first paragraph, you are going to establish the differences that you are going to be talking about, right? It is called your thesis statement. Yeah. So the first objective deals with the technology of the Maya and the Tanos. Yeah? Do we have that? That's what we have, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Lashanti there. Lashanti, you
Yes,
there?
sir. Yes, sir. I'm here.
Um, could you bring up a blank page for me on Microsoft Word? Yeah, you're on your computer, right?
No, sir. I'm my phone, but I can change to my computer.
Yeah, all right. Do that now.
Okay, I will.
Quick and fast. We're waiting on you. Is there anyone here that is using a data plan? Anybody here using data? All right, so everybody,
No, sir.
all right, everybody good then. All right, because based on what we see how CXC are running now, they're going more than likely they're going to want to mark all of them SBAs here. More than likely, that's what they're saying. So I want to ensure that we get it right, because everybody are going on their marks, and we don't want at the end of the day for you not to get the mark or your desire going into the exam, right? I'm sure everybody want at least 30 out of 35, at least. So you see how much time we have spent to discuss this SBA thing, and actually we're doing the easiest topic of all. Yeah, so we want to get it right. All right, come now, Lashanti. All right, so in the meantime, while Lashanti is getting us ready, so what is objective one? Let's go from objective one again. All right, let us start at objective. Let us start with the introduction. All right, so in your introduction, this is what I'm expecting to see, right? You must have a source to validate the information that you have put forward. You must have a source, yeah? Because in your introduction, you're going to be mentioning background information on the two groups. And there's no way that you can be mentioning background information on the two groups and you don't have a source. Remember, you know, once you use a quotation in the SBA, those words are not counted. So once you say according to, let me see which book I have here. So once you say according to William Claypole and John Robotham, let me find one of them page here with the Tinos then. Right? So according to William Claypole and John Robotham, this is the quotation now. The story of the peoples of the American islands and continents began in prehistoric times, long before any records were written. Right? So suppose you decide to start off your SBA like that, no problem. So you source the information, right? Now, there is no need for you to write the name of the book in the SBA. No need, absolutely no need for you to do that. What you need to do is to write the name of the author. Lashanti. Ashanti, I want me come on.
Sir,
You're not finished yet?
I'm typing in the thingy. I'm trying to log in to Zoom on my laptop.
Okay. Let me just come for you now. Who is logged in as Barbara Finley Archibald? I'm not sure I know that person. Anybody want help me out? Who is logged in as Barbara Finley Archibald? Please identify yourself. All right. Guess that person doesn't exist. All right, we following so far? All right, Jordan. So we're recording the session today. So if you get cut out, Jordan, I can. Oh, I'm gone already. Oh, you're still here. So if you get cut off for any reason, then I'll make the presentation available so you can watch it. All right. So there is no need for you to mention the name of the book. So if it is a website, I don't want to see www.com in the thing, in your objective 1 or in your objective 2 or whatever. Those things should come in the bibliography. What I need to see is the name of the author. If you cannot find the name of the author, you simply use the name of the organization. If you don't see the name of the organization, you use the title of the document that you are using. Please do not write no www.com or according to net.com or some kind of. Yes, Lashanti, thank you. Go to Zoom and make the page a bit bigger. No. Zoom, right hand corner. Just make the page bigger. Yeah. All right. So Lashanti, type for me. So according to William Claypole, one L and E, and genre bottom, now, yeah, TTOM. Open bracket, let's see what's happening here. First edition, 9th impression, 2006, PG1. No, not example 1, PG1, as in page 1. So page 1, close bracket, open quotation, the story of the peoples of the American islands the story of the peoples of the American islands and continents begins in prehistoric times. All right, close bracket, close quotation, right? All right, full stop. Here, the researcher notes that the peoples mentioned above refer to not referred, refer to the Maya, comma, Teno, and Kalinago. All right. So this is what I expect to see. So you have your quotation, right, by your author. Yeah, so you identify, once you're writing the name, once you're mentioning the author for the first time, you write their name in full, right? If you're going to mention them for the second time, then you write their name, you write first initial, last name, right? So I've identified the year of the publication, I've identified the page number. Now, when I go to the bibliography, I will see William Claypool, John Robotham, and then I will see the name of the book that these the author write. Huh? Now, if the author is for somebody who has written 2 books, then the year of the publication, which is 2006, will show me now when I go to the bibliography, which of these books I will need to search for this information in, because it's going to be very highly likely that an author would have written 2 historical documents and published them in the same year, right? Good. And now in my second sentence now, I am referring to the statement that was made above by the author. So I don't just take the author's statement, Claypool and Robotham, and just move on with it. Yeah. So I make reference to it. So here the researcher notes that the peoples mentioned above refers to the Maya, the Taino, and the Kalinago. That is what I expect to see in the research. So there's no way that you can identify a source and have the information and you do not say anything about it. It's like you're saying that the author has it is so clear what the author has said that you don't need to say anything. That is rubbish. You have to say something. Yeah, it's like you are called to give information in court and you just go in, you just nod your head. So everybody else is talking on your behalf and all you do, yes sir, yes sir. I just peer yes, yeah, I say. That cannot work. That is not a research. So it cannot be that there are more quotations and information from other sources than the person who is actually doing the research, doing some amount of speaking or some amount of clarification and analysis in the research. All right. Lashanti, you have the thing that on the mark scheme on your computer?
No, sir.
All right. Anybody have the mark scheme on their computer? Can bring it up? Lashanti, do you have the syllabus on your computer?
No, I don't, sir.
Okay. So nobody else now have it. Anybody else have the syllabus on their computer? All right, Lashanti, no worries. What you need to do now, just go ahead and download the syllabus. You can download the syllabus and look for the mark scheme and bring it up. And bring it up shortly.
Okay, sir. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen then.
Yeah, man. Right? So are we following so far? Type a yes in the chat if we're following so far.
Sir, I came on late.
You came on late. Okay. All right. Some people look like them still sleeping. All right. So that is your introduction, right? So you're giving background information on the two groups. Yeah. You're not going to give any specific information relating to the topics that we are, that they as in the objectives. So you're not giving any specific information. So the objectives talk about three things: technology, economics, and government. So we don't expect that you are going to be mentioning anything relating to that about the groups in the introduction. That is not necessary. That is not needed. Leave that information for when you come to your objectives, right? So in the last paragraph of your introduction, you are going to state how the information will be collected. Yeah, man, I need the mark scheme. So if you can share the mark scheme now, I'd be grateful. Because my computer is down and I'm actually using a little tablet, which not really work so wonderful for me. So in the last paragraph or in the last sentence of your last paragraph, you state how the information will be collected. So the information for this school-based assessment, yes?
Sorry, I found it.
All right, bring it up then. So the information for the school-based assessment will be collected by using, no, it wouldn't be will be collected, was collected because the research done. So the information for this research was tabulated using books, internet, and if you do not interview, then you bring up that, no problem. All right, so guidelines to the teacher. I don't want to see the guidelines to the teacher. Bring me to the next area. Right there, so right there, so don't you gone too far. Yep. All right. Bring the screen. Give us some zoom on the screen. All right, so we see that our SBA comes from the syllabus. In what ways did Taino culture differ from that of the Mayan in pre-Columbian period? So that's what we are doing. Scroll, go down, gathering the evidence. All right. So in your introduction in the last sentence, so when you're saying how the evidence will be collected, you can mention that, hey, you have been using primary sources, and you give the examples of the primary sources that you would have identified, that you would have used. And if you're using secondary sources, then you go ahead and you do that, right? You give your examples. Bring me to the next page now. All right, so it's 21%. Yeah. So the length of the project is supposed to be 1,000 words. Importantly now. Cover, ask the question that you want to ask. What are you saying?
Okay, sir. Sir, you mentioned something for the objectives, right? So I was asking, are we supposed to like read and analyze the information from the books and like the websites we read, and then like in our own words, just write what we understood from the information and just made the comparison under the objectives? Is that what you like want?
No, that is what is known as paraphrasing. I don't want you to be paraphrasing the people and information and don't give them their due diligence. So all right, so naturally you're going to go to many books to get information, right? And you're not going to be able to take all the information to put in your SBA. So some of it you will need to summarize, right? Some of it you will need to quote directly. Now, the ones that you take directly, right, you will need to, as I say, um, do the quotations, right? For the ones that you are summarizing that point back to the source directly, you have to use um, the footnotes and the endnotes for those, right? So if we look at what we see here in terms of what the length is, the length, so it's 1,000 words, not including bibliography, appropriate quotations, sources, charts, graphs, tables, pictures, references, and appendices, right? So they are saying that, hey, all of these words don't count, yeah? So you can use as many sources as is needed to enhance the research, because once you use a quotation, the words will not be counted, right? All right, scroll. All right, authenticity. So you have to make sure that your work is authentic, because if you look at it now, it's quite, it's much more, it's easier now to see if you have plagiarized any information, because all we have to do is just copy a part of the work and just put it in the software, and right away we'll know if you plagiarize. And once you plagiarize, you get 0, automatic 0. Now, if one person plagiarizes and that person gets a 0, everybody grade gets marked down. Very unfair, I think, but that's how they do it, right? Because they're going to be assuming that since one person, because normally what happens, they ask for 3 samples. So 3 samples, the highest person's grade, the middle grade, and the lowest grade. Now, if the highest person, or whichever person plagiarize, they're going to assume that somebody else or that everybody is guilty of plagiarism. And instead of everybody maintaining the score that I send you up with, they're going to deduct scores from everybody paper, from everybody research, on the assumption that everybody else is or has cheated in some way. That is why I'm imploring you to ensure that if the thing sound like it was said by an author, even if you drum it up out of your head, if you feel like it off, because remember, everybody doing the same topic, So you have to be mindful that there are persons out there who using the same book like you, the same website like you, and might write the same summary like you, right? Because we have 3 groups of history students, roughly between 60 to 80 of you doing the subject, and you're doing the same topic, right? So you can't assume that, hey, this website that I'm using, I'm the only one who is using this website. Don't do that. Yeah?
Sir,
Yes?
repeat that for me, please, because I got kicked out of the class.
Okay. So you cannot assume that you are the only person who is using the website that you are using. So you say, all right, here what me I go do? Me I go just change one word in it, and then you put in it as your work. Don't do it. Yeah? Because it is going to show that you're cheating. And if you just go and change one word in the people them sentence. That is what we call paraphrasing or summary. So you just need to just use the footnotes them to indicate, all right, this is where I'm getting the information from. And not really my information, but me kind of put my own twist to it. Nothing is wrong with that. Yeah? All right, move to the next. All right. All right. Bring me to the mark scheme now. Slowly though. No, that's not it. Just continue going. All right. Yeah, man, scroll go down some more of it, show. Right there. All right. Get out your pen and your paper now if you don't already have it. I'm going to say this one final time. The area of research. Because some people send in their work and they don't identify the area of research. No. At somewhere towards the front of your SBA, you're going to have a little part, a little title called area of research. You can put the area of research on your on the page with your rationale, right? You can put the area of research where you identify the research question and the objectives, yeah. But you must clear. You see what I say? Clearly identified. That means you must say that this is the area of research. Once you do that, you automatically score 2 marks. And sir is going to give you that 2 marks. No. Well, the possibility for that 2 marks. So, area of research, right? What is the area of research? Theme 1, indigenous peoples and the Europeans. Differences between Maya and Taino culture in the pre-Columbian period. Theme 1, indigenous peoples and the Europeans. Differences between the Maya and the Taino culture in the pre-Columbian period. Once you have that, you get 2 marks automatically.
Repeat
That
that,
clear to everybody?
sir.
Yes?
Repeat the part where it said team 1 indigenous people.
So it is team 1, indigenous peoples and the Europeans. Differences between Maya and Taino culture in the pre-Columbian period. Once you do that, you get 2 marks. So sir has already given you 2 marks. So you can go ahead and say thank you, sir. All right. Then we come to our rationale. Your rationale is, why am I doing this research? And please don't tell the people them say, a sir give you the research video. No, it's not me, right? No, the most natural reason why you're doing the research, it is because it is the requirements of the examination body, right? You can mention that. That is fine if you want to mention that. Yeah. But what is the main reason why you have, because the examination body has given you this, why is it now that you have chosen this area of the syllabus, this particular topic to do? Yeah. So you just tell them, say, the researcher has been interested in the two groups, the Maya and the Tanos, from the start of this course. And based on the intrigue of the researcher, based on the intrigue of the concepts in the lives of these two groups, the researcher became interested in finding out the differences that existed between the two groups in the pre-Columbian period. Yeah. So because you love the two groups, them, you really I said, then these are my two favorite groups. So I want to now find out the differences that existed between the two groups. So I want to do a comparison to find out what the differences them, why the Maya so up there, why the Taino so down there. So we want to look at the differences. Once you do that, 3 marks. All right. Here is where the challenge comes in now. Collection of data. Excellent use of sources. Now, in order for you to use your sources excellent, in order to be excellent with this use of sources, you must not only identify the sources, so you, for some of you, you're just using the information as presented by the authors and you just leave it like that. Yeah. And then you don't have in any quotation to show me what the author is saying, where the author is speaking, when the author finished speaking. So I don't really know. So I see you have Doris Hamilton Willie, and you're saying that he said, and Doris Hamilton is a woman. Yeah, that can work. You know, must know who the author is, if he's a male or female. Then you say Doris Hamilton Willie in her book, the indigenous peoples stated that the source is not used correctly at all. Right? Or if you go say, according to WW dot, right away, the source is there, yes, but it is not used excellent at all. Yeah. Now, so 3 things you need to pay attention to. The source must be used appropriately, right? So I must be able to identify who is speaking, and I must be able to identify when he starts speak and when he don't speak, right? So who is speaking, right? As in the example just now, John Robotham and William Claypool, right? I must know when they speak, yeah? When. So the year and the page. So when and where, yeah? So the page number and the year in which they are speaking. I must know now what they have said. What are they saying? How will I know what they are saying? You have the parentheses or the cut, you have them in quotation mark, right? So I want to know who is speaking, which is the author. I want to know when he making statement, which is the year. I want to know where he making statement, which is the page number. And I want to know when he starts speak And when he finished speaking, that will point me to my quotations. Good? Once you do that, you get your points. You see it? All right. Is that clear? Type a yes in the chat.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sir.
Yes.
So what if the source has no author?
All right. So if the source have no author, if the source can't have no author, you know, it must have an author. You know. So
It's
you
not
mean
stated, sir.
if it is not stated, all right, we don't have no problem with that. All right. So if you're walking beside a building, Zane, and you hear the building, noise a come out of the building, you go search the building and you don't find nobody in there. Don't? But yet you go and you're telling me what you heard at the building. Where you gonna tell me, say? You gonna tell me the name of my building, don't?
Yes, sir.
All right. So simple, you're going to tell me the name of the organization, right? So if the information has no author, you tell me the name of the organization. If the organization is not mentioned, so we go with author first. So if there is no author, we go organization. If the organization is not mentioned, we move to title, as in the title of the document. If there is no title, we go with, so let's say you get a book and the whole front page missing. Tear up, back page tear off, front page tear off. So you can't really find no information, really. Right? You go with the first sentence. So the first, no, not the first sentence, but let's say the two most important phrases within the paragraph, right? So let's say I have my Caribbean story, right? So I'm using my Caribbean story, my my John Robotham and William Claypool, right? So on the first page, it has the title, Part 1, Indigenous Peoples and the Europeans. So let's say for some reason that information is not there. All of it is missing, right? When I go to the first line, I see the term. The first sentence says, the story of the peoples of the American islands and continents begins in prehistoric times, right? So you can use that statement as the author, because once the researcher now picks up your document, the marker picks up your document, then the researcher it can just punch it in, and the internet will be able to authenticate or to find where you have taken this source from, right? So once you punch in the key phrases, the algorithm will find the information. Might be take a while, but we'll find it. Cool? All right. Now, this is the most important aspect of the thing now. Analysis and interpretation. So, you're using the sources, but if there is no analysis, if there is no interpretation, then you cannot get no marks. So you cannot just say, all right, so let's say, based on how you find the sources, all of the sources that you find point towards the differences that exist. So you find authors that say, all right, the Taínos, weaponry, they were mediocre mediocre in comparison to that of the Mayans because XYZ, XYZ. So you find authors that are pointing directly towards the differences which existed based on what your research is about. What that indicates, is somebody else's research, not yours. So you have to now state directly, definitively, what is your interpretation, what is your analysis of the statements that has been made by these authors, right? Even if it's obvious. So if them say the Thanos, they used weapons to fish and to hunt and to protect themselves, you have to say something based on that. So you cannot just use a source and just leave it. You have to say something about it. Have to make a statement. Good? Following so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good. Scroll again, Lashanti. All right. Stop right there. Now, conclusion is a must. Now, so you have your thesis statements for each. So you have objective 1, 2, and 3, right? Each objective you start out with a thesis statement that will indicate what is the main parts or the main points that you will be discussing in this particular objective. Good? Now, in your conclusion, you're going to be identifying at least 2 major differences that you would have identified from each objective. So objective 1 talks about the technology. So the 2 major differences that you identify between the Maya and the Tenu, you identify those in your, you basically restate those in your conclusion. You don't have to change up the wording. You don't have to do anything but just find the information, pick it up, and put it down in your conclusion. Same thing with objective 2. You find the 2 major differences where you identify and you put it in a conclusion. Yeah, then in objective 3, you do the same thing. And then after that now, you basically have now a concluding statement. So you say, based on the evidence provided above, it is clear to see that the Thanos and the Mayans had or they exhibited major differences. Yeah? Not giving you any more hints on that one. All right, when we come down to presentation and documentation, 6 marks each. All right, and before we move to that, no new information should be in your conclusion. So you shouldn't be making a new quotation in your conclusion. Right? So you shouldn't have a new source because you're concluding, which means that you are summing up all that you have already said. So you should not be saying anything new in your conclusion. All right. Excellent language skills. Now, once your language skills are up there, excellent, then you must get 6, right? So the minimum you're supposed to get on this is 5. So for your rationale, for your area of research, you already get 2. You have to get 5 here, so or 6. So right away, let's say you get 7 in total right there. And then now you have the conventions of writing the research paper. Anybody know what the conventions are? What are the conventions for writing a research paper? Huh? Anybody know what they are? Anybody?
No, sir.
All right. So watch this. So cover page is a part of it. So you must have your cover page done correctly. So cover page, title page, introduction, acknowledgement, appendices, bibliography. Yeah. Remind me to speak about the appendices shortly. All right. So those are the conventions, right? Now, not to say that you're going to have all of these things that I have mentioned, right? So your table of contents is also one. Table of contents. Yeah. So when you pick up a person's research, they won't necessarily have all of these, right? But you must have at least 4 or 5 of them. So naturally you got your cover page, right? Yeah, you must have a cover page. You must have your introduction because that is a part of this criteria. So the introduction is definitely necessary. You must have your table of contents, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, and you have to have your bibliography, right? That's 4. The next ones are up to you, right? So your title page, your acknowledgement, your appendices. But the next ones you have to have them. So you must have your cover page, you have to have your introduction, you have to have your table of contents, and you have to have your bibliography, or your references or your works cited, right? Because that is where I'm going to be able to identify the books or the websites that you use. That is the only place I'll be able to identify those. So you must have those, right? Now, for the persons who are using appendices, so you must, of course, label the appendices. So it's going to be the first one. So the first picture that you have, so you label it figure 1, and then you give it a description, right? Good. Picture showing Tennu weapons, right? Now, if you have this as figure 1 and you have it in your appendices, why are you putting in appendices? Why are you putting in these figures, these pictures, these tables? Why? Why is it necessary? How does it help your research? What do you need to do? Anybody can help out here. What do you need to do in order for the appendices come alive as a part of your research? Come on, man, I'm not talking to myself. Hector,
Sir,
yeah.
so to make sure that the pictures that you're putting down has something to do with your research, sir.
Yeah, but how you do that?
Sir, you link it to somewhere
Sir,
in
you
your
write
research.
statements about pictures.
How much person can speak at a time, Rochelle? You never hear Karim. Kahim. So Kahim, finish up.
So I was saying that you could link it to something you said in the research, sir.
All right,
Some
good. So from your introduction to objective 1, 2, and 3, if you have made a statement that points towards anything in your appendices. So as I said, the picture is referring to, so figure 1, picture showing Tennu weapons. So when in your objective 1, when you're mentioning the weaponry of the Tennus, you say, you open bracket, and you say, see figure 1 appendices, right? So you say see figure 1, appendices. Or you can just write figure 1. You can just put figure 1 in bracket, right? Because right there, so now I just come to now flip to appendices and I say, okay, I understand. So I get a better visual now of what the weapons of the Thanos would be like. Good, so you're bringing the research to life. All right. For excellent language skills, I'm sure that as good an English student you are, it wouldn't hurt to have somebody read your work. It wouldn't hurt to have somebody read your work and give you some feedback, make some corrections, make some adjustments for you, so that when I pick it up, I don't have to be telling you to correct simple things like the word they want one more space. You understand? Things like that just don't make no sense. You cannot send me a document, and when I do a spell check on your document, I am getting things to correct when you have spell check on your computer, right? Because remember, it is a soft copy. So once I open it in my application, if there are any errors in it, the errors are going to come up automatically. So I will be able to see them even without starting to read it. So it shouldn't be that there are any errors in your document at all. All right? Any questions, any comments, anything you want to share? Are we good to go? All right, looks like everybody is good. Any questions?
Yeah, like uses of sources. Yeah.
Say that again.
The uses of sources.
What happened to uses
Problem
of
I
sources?
have with SBA, the sources.
What happened to uses of sources?
No, sir. Like you said, use the author, X, Y, and Z. Say that's the only part I really have a problem.
Oh, all right. Lashanti, bring me back to the document, to the first Word document. All right, so here we have an example of using the sources. All right, so we identify the author, so we identify the who is speaking or who is going to speak. We identify the year, that is when they have made their statement. We identify where, the page number, and then we identify what they are going to say or what they have said by putting it in quotation. Once we follow that sequence, we're good to go. So we identify who will be speaking, we identify when they will be speaking, we identify where they have spoken, and we identify what they have said. All right? Now, give me a different format now, Lashanti. So we are going to do a different statement. So we're going to do a different statement now. So all right, yeah, right there. So all right, so let me read something else and you type that in.
Sir, you're going to do the paraphrasing type, sir.
The paraphrasing type.
Yes, sir.
Who did that in them? I think Marlon did it. I think Marlon was the one who did something like that. All right. Dugout canoes. Put in the quotation right away. So I'm going with a quotation. Dugout canoes were made with great skill. The dugout canoes were made with great skill without the aid of any metal weapons. metal tools. Sorry, not weapons, tools. Close, open bracket. So it's William Claypool. Just go up top and copy. All right, you look like you like that. Right? So just copy everything, because you have to go write it back. Just, yeah, copy. Just copy it, yeah. All right. Ignore row, copy, paste. All right. So move over to the page number. It is now page 10. So it's page 10. All right. And go over now to 2006. Just take out the bracket at 2006 and put a comma there. Space. All right. So instead of starting off my sentence now with according to, I just start my sentence with the quotation, and then after the author has finished speaking, I big him up, right? I can now continue my sentence because my sentence has not ended, right? And now I am going to speak now as the researcher, right? So dugout canoes were made with great skill without the aid of any weapons by, by both the Taínos and the Kalinagos. Not the Kalinagos, the Maya. However, the Mayans canoes were better than those made by the Taínos, because they could carry more people and more goods. So, full stop. All right. So you see right away, I have information from an author, and I also now have an analysis of what I have said, right? So I have said that both groups make canoes, but I'm saying now that the Mayan canoe is better in reference to the statement above, that the Mayan canoe is actually better than that of the Taínos which was made. All right? Good? All right. Nice. All right, give us enter some. Give me some enter. Enter. A whole heap of enter. All right. So while Ashanti gone down so far upon the enterments, bring you back up some more, Ashanti, man. Sure. All right. So that's how that's two ways that we can use our sources. So the information can come before. So we say according to, or we say we use the author's name first. So William Claypool and John Robotham opines that, or stated that, or says that, yeah? Or we can do it after and put the author's name in brackets. Somebody mentioned about paraphrasing. What you want to know about paraphrasing?
Sir, I was saying that like for some of the paraphrasing, you know, as if some people the end of the paraphrasing they put like the title of the article and the date it was published.
Maybe in that case, they don't know the name of the author. That's why they may have done that.
Yes, sir. I couldn't find some of the author or when it was published, but for some of them, when you can't find when it was published, they put .n.b or something. I think you know the
No,
or
that
something
is
like
not
that.
that. Remember, you have different styles of writing. You have the MLA and you have the APA, right? That is for research purposes. Now, other individuals may use other formats which are not necessarily for research purposes, right? But for research purposes, there are two writing styles, two ways that is acceptable, APA and MLA. For the MLA format which we are using, we expect that you will follow what the MLA says, right? So if you can't find the name of the author, you are mentioning the name of the organization that has written the information or the organization that represents the author, or you're using the title of the document, right? So we don't expect that you will be writing any website. No, because websites don't speak as in
So sir,
the URL.
you can just put the article name and just leave it at that if you can't find any more information.
Yeah. But remember, if you can't find the information and I can find it, that means you're going to be losing marks. So you have to ensure that you find the information. Normally, all websites have an about page. Once you find the about page, it will tell you when the document was published and who published the document. Right? All websites have an about page. Well, they should have it. Right? Now, so if you are paraphrasing now, if you are paraphrasing, you don't have to indicate the you don't have to indicate using the quotation marks. You simply, at the end of the statement that was made by the author, you put in the same information. So you put in the author's name, the year of the publication, and the page number. All right? That's when you are paraphrasing. All right?
Yes.
All right. Any other questions?
Sir, for interpretation and analysis, right? You said not to paraphrase or to like copy directly from the information. So should I just make like a statement from the sources and then just put a footnote saying where I got the sources from?
Yeah, man, you have the option of using footnotes and endnotes. So if you know how to do that, then you can do that. That is fine. So you can use footnotes and endnotes.
Okay, sure. That's it.
All right. Anybody else? All right. So nobody else have anything? All right. Thank you so much, Lashanti. You are doing so well as our secretary. We hope that you will continue to do a fantastic job. Right, Lashanti? Lashanti?
Yes, sir.
I said that you're doing such a fantastic job as our secretary. I hope that you will continue and you will continue to do a good job for us. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So that brings us to the end of today's class. So it's lunchtime. So bye-bye.
All right, sir.
All right.
Oh, wait, sir. Sir, could you send samples that are a bit more closer to our topic or theme?
What do you mean samples that are a bit closer to what do you mean samples? What
SBA
samples?
samples, sir.
Nah, man. You depend on your own with that.
All right, sir.
That would be validating the authenticity of your research. Because
Sir.
if I send something that is close, you're going to just copy that. So I want you to go and do your research, man. Not sending you anything close to that at all.
All right, sir.
Yeah. All right.
Sir,
Yes.
yeah, one more thing. Could tables and graphs be in the appendices?
Yes, man. That's where they should go.
Like no, sir, I mean like if we make up our own based off what we read.
Yeah, man.
Oh, all right.
Yes, man. All right. So have a good day, everybody. Sir is gone.
Okay,
Sir.
sir.